guys, from our next stop, we're in Bukhara. We were dropped off yesterday by our driver. We just installed ourselves quickly at our stay and had a quick shawarma around the corner, which was amazing. The shawarmas here are to die for. They're so good. We are now in Bukhara. We have been for the last 2 days, and here a little bit of our impressions, in the sense of we read indeed it's quite different from Samarkand, and we can agree. The vibe when you walk around is definitely different, because I feel you're walking around in like an open air museum a bit.
Yeah, I had the same. So every building here has like a plaque and it says it's historic building, it's protected and all that. And if you just walk around in the old city in the inside, it is so beautiful. There's no cars allowed at a certain point.
Nice.
You can just wander around, and really everything is so beautiful, like really old as it was kept back in the days. And it's just such a nice way to stroll around and to explore the city, but just walking inside of it. Yeah.
That's compared to Samarkand, where you had the sides all scattered over the city, and in between you had like more modern streets and city vibes.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Hold on a second.
There's 2 cats who are arguing right now.
Oh, nee, that's funny.
Over a certain spot.
So compared to Samarkand, here it's like one old building after another. It's very compact. We didn't expect that. Obviously, when you check on Google Maps, the distances aren't that huge, but I always mark.
Well, obviously, Bukhara is a smaller city than Samarkand. Samarkand has, I think, around 1 million people, and here you have 300,000, so it's going to be smaller already. But indeed, you can see everything by foot if you're somewhere close to the center, and most places are, or like really inside even. And you can see everything super easily, like walkable. And yeah, that's what we did when we arrived. We were just walking around a little bit, checking out what this is all about. And right next to our place, there's like a nice fast food place which had amazing shawarma, and that's what we had for the first dinner.
And also the second, because like we said, it seems if you want the places that have good ratings that you have to make reservations.
We weren't expecting that here.
No, I read that about Khiva though, because it's so small.
Smaller.
And the good restaurants are always taken by tour groups. So
a big difference with Samarkand, which we noticed, is obviously that Samarkand has like more grandeur and bigger attractions, let's say. Like the sites are way bigger. You have like huge groups, tour groups which roam around. The places are further away from each other, so you walk through like normal parts of the city, let's say, which are not old or like not as preserved as these buildings, and you have bigger distances to get from one place to another. And yeah, like if you compare, for example, to the Registan, it is so well preserved and like polished. They rebuilt everything.
Yeah, beautifully restored.
They restored everything here, there, and here in Bukhara, everything is more raw. Everything is like they kept many things the way they were, or maybe they didn't have the funds to do everything yet, and also it takes, I guess, time. But just generally speaking, there's like so many madrasahs which don't have complete tiles. There's like things missing. There's like holes in the wall, stuff like that, which give it a unique charm and make it look different than Samarkand. So those two, in my opinion, are completely different.
They give a totally different vibe, definitely. So that's really interesting to see the difference. Yeah.
After Tashkent and Samarkand, we really needed that hike or like that little bit of outdoor activity, because we're not getting tired because it's beautiful, but we saw after a while you only see tiles and the same colors.
So the whole time the turquoise and purplish like tiles.
And you see that madrasa, and it's like after a while you've seen enough madrasa basically, but we came here and it doesn't look like Samarkand, so that was refreshing.
Nice change.
Yeah.
But earlier, Moritz told me, like, genuinely, I really had it a little bit with filming madrasas all day.
There's only so much you can do with these buildings, and they're super beautiful, and I love being inside of them. But at one point, you're like a bit like overflown with those. With the
it's
design.
the same a bit like in Thailand. If you go the whole time to the
temple
temples.
after temple. Yeah. I mean, it's the same for. The funny thing is, we heard Asian tourists, which we talked with. I think it was Chinese, and they were telling us once that, my God, you have so many churches, because whenever they went to Europe and they went between the cities or the countries, the first stop was always the biggest church, like the Kölner Dom, or like the cathedral in Antwerp or something like that. So they also saw church after church after church. It was also the moment, my God, you have so many churches.
But it's just the things you visit apparently as a tourist when you come to Europe, and same here. But anyways, we love everything here. The architecture is some of the most beautiful we have ever seen. So, but yeah.
Yeah, we're pleasantly surprised with Bukhara of how it looks like versus what we expected, maybe.
Yeah.
And just the colors. We like the colors. Like
It's
everything
more
like sandstone.
Right now we are in the Abdulaziz Khan Madrasa, which you can find like right in the center, and it's really pretty on the outside. Like the colors are really different from anything we've seen. It has like these pinkish tones. Also the design is more with plants if you pay attention to it. Supposedly you should also be able to see like something like a Chinese dragon in there, which we weren't able to spot. But it's like a hint towards the Silk Road heritage that they have here. Inside, however, like Moritz was showing earlier, it hasn't been restored. It has never been restored over the centuries, and it really shows, but it has its charm as well. We actually noticed that there are many madrasas here in Bukhara that haven't been restored at all, and they have more this sandstone color. The tiles have disappeared, but yeah, something else than like in Samarkand, but still interesting to see. So supposedly this one was one of the teaching rooms. As you can tell, it's rather small, and just like the rest of the building, nothing has ever been restored through the centuries. So, but you can still see the patterns, a little bit of the color that's left, and yeah, people left their marks like
they're all over. I mean that happens, of course, if we have buildings which are not how to say, polished or restored,
or
and
protected.
Yeah, they were just like standing there. You could do whatever you wanted to them, but they weren't paying attention to it.
So we just crossed the street from the Abdulaziz Madrasa, and you find the joint ensemble on the other side, which is the Ulugh-Bek Madrasa. This name might sound familiar because we've seen one of the madrasas in Samarkand already. He's the grandson of Amir Timur. And this one, specifically here in Bukhara, is one of the only surviving from the Timurid era architectural buildings. As you can tell as well, it's a little bit in a better state because it has been restored a few times, but it's also not in the same state as you can find in Samarkand. So with both these madrasas here, it's mostly the outside which are spectacular, and with this specific one, it has an inscription on the outside, like a verse from the Quran, which says, "The aspiration of knowledge is the duty of every Muslim person, man and woman." So inside this specific madrasa, it was the social center of scientific arts, and there were like lectures on both astrology but also theology and mathematics. Such a nice picture.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Yes, you are. Yes,
Oh, is that your baby? Is that your baby?
such a cutie pie. Yes, you are. You're such a cutie pies.
Look at them. You have to film them quickly, please. So right now we are in the centerpiece, I guess that's what you can call it, of Bukhara. We're in the Kalan ensemble, which is the religious complex right in the historic center. And it actually exists out of multiple buildings. One of them you can already spot from far away. It's the minaret, which we also saw yesterday. It's beautiful. The details are gorgeous on it. And now we are in the mosque part, and on the other side you can find the madrasa. It's just a really small fee to get in here. We pay like 5,000 some, which is not even €0.50. And you can actually come back in with it today still, which we might, because the weather is, a little bit gray today, and we also want to see them, maybe some sunlight, so we come back. But because it's beautiful, they have like this centerpiece in the middle, which we haven't seen before, and also a really like beautiful tree. So it's a little bit different than what we've seen in Samarkand. Moritz made me stand up on this loose block, and I don't feel super comfortable, But here we are. Here we are at the Chor Minor Madrasa, which you can see behind me has 4 domes, all like in vivid turquoise colors. But what is interesting, apparently each, if you look closely, have like these hidden details from other religions than Islam. So if you look closely, you can see, for example, like the upside down fish from Christianity. You can also see something from Buddhism, Wheel of the Law, but I think you have to look a bit closely. But so there are like some interesting details. It is really like different from anything we've seen so far. It's yeah, quite special. It used to be a hidden treasure. I read online that yeah, you could have been here by yourself, which is not the case anymore. There are a lot of groups, but yeah, obviously. But it's very pretty, very different from what we've seen so far. It's a little bit more east of the city, but actually the distances here are so small, we didn't even walk 10 minutes. So. Now we've been walking for a while and I think I deserve some donuts. We saw a little shop along the way and that's where we're heading now. Let's go. So we're at the donut place, like I said, and they look amazing. They make them freshly. I saw the woman in the kitchen. I saw the dough, everything, and she just did the glazing right now. So actually it indeed looks a bit liquidy, so it's not hardened glaze. And it's with pistachios on top, so I'm curious to try. Nice, huh? Okay, glaze approved. Okay, not by Moritz yet, because he didn't have a bite yet. Go ahead. But I liked it. It's so fluffy, thick. Very nice. We couldn't help ourselves and we just needed to get a second one. With plain sugar this time, but no, it's so good. For those who don't know, these are called like samovars, and that's how in Central Asia and in a lot of Russian-speaking countries they make tea. How does it work, Moritz? Tell me.
Maybe you have to show the samovar.
But I was showing the samovar.
So you have the samovar where the water is inside and you put a fire beneath it or somehow turn it on if it's an electrical one and the water heats up. And on top you have the same, but on the top you put a little kettle and you put on the top the coffee, the tea, which is highly concentrated. So you have like concentrated black tea on the top and water at the bottom. You pour a little bit of black tea into your cup like this much. And since you have such a big samovar, the rest can be filled up with hot water. And that's how you have your tea then. So on the top it's always the small one, and on the bottom you have the big container for water.
Thank you, Moritz. So my quick thoughts on eating in Bukhara. So it's quite easy to find like something during the day, like coffee shop or sweets. Like yesterday we found this halva place which was super nice, and the tea as well. Now this donut place, amazing. But we did notice it's a little bit difficult to find nice restaurants. There's also not like plentiful to go around in the first place, and there are only a handful with like good ratings, because many places have like good and bad. Some say about one restaurant it's the best one and the others say worst place in my life. So we're like, okay, what do we do here? And then we found just a few that have good ratings, but we suggested you make reservations. Yesterday we couldn't get a place. We're going there tonight. Hopefully everything works out because we're excited. But yeah, so reservations for Bukhara are in order, it seems. And yeah, yesterday we just ended up in the shawarma place near our hotel again. Not complaining because it's very, very nice. But I'm looking forward to something hearty tonight. And yeah, you'll see later where we eat. having the best company. Besides me, always cats. Hello, hello. We think it's the one we showed you the other day outside that was like fighting another cat. That was that one, right?
Sure. Also because
The one that was sitting higher.
yeah, also because he's male, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm waiting for the clap.
Morning everyone, this is our last day here in Bukhara. As you can tell, the weather is super nice today, so we're gonna make the most of it. We skipped a lot of things the last few days because it was cold, it was rainy, and so we're gonna pack our day full with activities today to see it in this beautiful sunlight. So our first stop is right behind me, which is the Bukhara Mosque. It's mostly known for its wooden carvings, making it really like stand out from all the other mosques we've seen so far. It sometimes also goes by the name 40 Pillars Mosque because, as you can see, there are only 20 pillars, but they're like beautifully reflected in the pond in the front, hence the name. But yeah, when you come here, pay special attention to all the details in the carvings, the colors, they're really amazing. It's right on the other side of the Ark, so you can easily combine them together.